Hey, how's it going, everybody? Charlie Wilson here, aka Sinister Charlie. Welcome back. Hi. Hello. We've got some military type stuff. Army grifter Tim Kennedy gets exposed for faking his military career. Tim Kennedy's a weird case. By the way, this is by GeeKay. GeeKay? Yeah, I'll go ahead and like and subscribe. Yeah, with Tim Kennedy, it's so weird because he did a lot of really crazy stuff anyway, but he felt the need to really embellish his military career. And it's cool if, you didn't like see combat or anything. I didn't really see I mean, I was outside the wire in Iraq for one tour for about 7 months. I was a convoy security gunner. And I never shot my gun at anybody. I never got shot at. It was mostly IEDs at that point anyway. And it was always a convoy in front of us or a convoy behind us that got hit with an IED. So, and even that, I only did one tour. And saying that means that there's plenty of people who've done more shit. But yeah, he's definitely probably done more crazy shit than I have in the military. And it's the same thing with Chris Kyle when he was talking about he's sniping people in in New Orleans. It's just weird to me. It's like, just be proud of whatever you did, you know? Anyway, yeah, let's get into it. Sorry.
I think it's totally hypocritical and it's intellectually dishonest to be pretending that you're on the moral high ground and then misrepresenting facts, lying, paraphrasing, and then taking things out of context.
Oh, yeah.
They do financially better when they go after people
with unequivocal responsibility for a serious mistake. Over the years, I made public statements and gave interviews in which I unintentionally misstated aspects of my military service.
I don't think it was unintentional. I'm pretty sure it was to make money. It's not good, Tim.
Notably, I implied directly or indirectly that I had been awarded the Bronze Star Medal with Valor. No. You didn't imply You stated directly, yes, I have a Bronze Star Medal with Valor, and then told a story about how you got it.
So Tim Kennedy has been forced to admit that he's been lying about receiving a Bronze Star Medal with the V device under an apparent...
First off, I have to compliment your accent, sir. I don't know what accent that is, but it is crazy. No, I'm joking, though. It's all right, sorry.
Legal threat, and evidently it's been a long time coming as he's been getting called out for stolen valor by several military YouTubers for almost 8 months. And it feels almost cathartic because I always thought that shamelessly bragging about taking lives as a Green Beret in order to validate how much of an alpha you are was...
I forgot he was a Green Beret. And just saying that you're a Green Beret, or just making it as a Green Beret, you think you'd be proud of that, but some people it's just not enough. They've got that kind of personality where it's just always got a one up and one up and one up, and it's a crazy cycle, especially when you're making money off it, I guess.
Not only cringe, but also extremely gross. And either meant that he was a huge dork who had no ability to read the room and legitimately thought that people listened to his stories with admiration and awe for how much of a badass he was, or just a straight up psychopath who should be placed in a straitjacket. And I'm happy to report that it ended up being the former after all. Not that anybody should be surprised, because taking one glance at his Instagram would instantly make you make the same face that you...
Wow, he's so cool.
You would make while biting into a lemon.
Did you just refer to a knife as a people opener? Or should I not have?
I think every UFC fan familiar with Tim Kennedy would agree that while he was a decent fighter, he
was a really good MMA fighter for a little bit, for a couple fights maybe.
He's a cringe lord of the highest order, whose main goal in life seemed to be cosplaying as this universal soldier, Rambo-like character who could bring the hordes of hell to their knees just by virtue of how awesomely savage he was. In other words, a nerd who had some very misguided ideas about what the general public actually finds to be cool. I mean, the guy couldn't even take a USADA drug test without turning it into some hero fantasy about imaginary ops following him around in shadowy cars.
And by the time, he puts his vehicle into park, he has a gun at his face.
I imagine there's
on USADA! And I was like,
All right, let's go get my piss.
Now, the main two channels that seem to be clued in on Kennedy's fraudulent claims from the very beginning were Valhalla VFT and the Anti-Hero podcast ran by Nate Carnaccia and Brent Tucker, veterans of two elite special operation units within the U.S. Army and Delta Force and the Green Berets, with multiple Medals of Valor earned in combat between them. And to briefly summarize for us normies why Tim Kennedy lying about receiving a Bronze Medal of Valor is such a big deal within military circles, we can take a look at Carnaccia's lesser Medal of Valor. Receiving it took him risking his life under a hail of bullets in the firefight, then administering medical care to a fallen soldier, compromising his own personal safety in the process, and then going back to engaging the enemy in the firefight. So it's completely understandable why a guy like Kennedy, who not only fraudulently claimed to receive a Medal of Valor that superseded the one that Carnaccia risked his life for.
I saw a couple of people get Bronze Stars in our battalion. Our commander, he got a Bronze Star, and then some other officer. It's always officers. To get enlisted, for an enlisted to get a Bronze Star, it's got to be something pretty special.
Also fabricated pretty much his entire military career for clout would rub him the wrong way.
I sometimes just want to list my credentials so people can understand that when I'm saying things, you cannot maybe find somebody on the planet that has more experience in this. You know, from countless tours in Iraq, countless tours in Afghanistan, countless tours to Europe, Africa, South America, counter poaching, counter drug, piracy. Like, I've been doing this for 15 years.
Yeah. So you guys know he spent basically 2 years active duty SF. He deployed not countless times to Iraq and Afghanistan. He deployed one time to each, 2006 to Iraq, 2008 to Afghanistan, and then got out of the military. So
yeah, I never got to go to Afghanistan, but it sounds a lot like mine. I did one tour in Iraq, tour in Africa, tour in Europe, Japan. And that was about it. 6 years.
He could fight in the UFC and went to the National Guard and never deployed again. So no, he's probably got some of the least...
Also, sorry, the quick pause. I don't know why all of us veterans don't wear sleeves, because it seems like Fat Electrician might have started that off. So thank you very much, Fat Electrician.
Experience of any Green Beret.
But then there are other times where, we're surrounded on all sides. There's about 30 on all sides. 400 or 500 Taliban.
Oh, shut up.
And they all have elevated positions.
And look at this guy on the left. He's very enthralled, and that's why he tells these stories, because it gets people interested like that. And they're like, oh, my God, I could never.
We're all pretty sure we're going to die.
No, Tim was never surrounded by 400 Taliban. His own teammates came out and basically said everything in his book is a lie, and that Tim basically never even fired a shot in combat.
Heard that part.
I think I have 12 passports that are full.
Showed 12, them.
Like entirely full passports. Like there's no more place to put stamps. So I have Iraq, Afghanistan, of course, North Africa, South America, Europe.
So that's wild. He's deployed twice. So
awesome.
He's got 12 months deployed. I'm not really sure how he filled up that book of passports. And maybe, when he goes around and does fake photo ops at all these places that he's been to.
Apparently, Kennedy's stolen valor has been somewhat of an open secret for a long time, with high-ranking military officials and members of the U.S. government ignoring the elephant in the room, likely because of the high profile he has developed as a result of his appearances on the Joe Rogan Experience and other adjacent podcasts that raked in millions of views, and the memoir he released in 2022 titled Scars
Oh my
and
God, that is so cringe. That's so moto. Good for you, buddy. Scars and Sorry, that's just really funny. Other people will find that funny too.
Which became a New York Times bestseller in the hardcover nonfiction category. A book that I'm bringing up for a reason, because it's been heavily criticized for being a collection of ridiculous lies. More on that in a bit.
Everyone knows, okay? I've talked to some of the highest level people at the White House myself, told them these same stories. They just didn't care, okay? Because as of now, I'm pretty sure they just think he's kind of a useful idiot. Yes.
Oh, my
wow.
God.
Look at that.
Oh.
Yep, it's all of them, guys. Man, Sergeant Major of the Army. Man, that one's, Sergeant Major Weimer, who is a Green Beret, 100% knows about Tim's stolen valor, and he continues to do photo ops. That's probably the most disappointing of them all. They just don't give. because they have no integrity whatsoever, especially you, Sergeant Major of the Army, Weimer. Let me just point at you and say, you're the biggest problem out of everybody.
Tim's book served as the catalyst that transformed the...
You'll find that a lot with, especially, I was E5 when I got out. I had just made E5 a year before. You'll find that a lot of lower ranking people don't seem to like the higher ranking people so much. Same with officers. It's I don't know, very political.
Largely quiet rumors of stolen valor into a pressing issue that couldn't be ignored and led to the release of the video, a portion of which you saw in the beginning of this video, where he presented the relatively flimsy defense of people harassing him for clout. Never mind the fact that stooping as low as possible in the name of attention has been his MO for years. The guy literally bragged about not having to deal with PTSD despite supposedly taking the lives of numerous women and children.
I'm asked daily about how and why I don't have PTSD. I'm probably the last person on earth you should ask about this stuff.
Shut up. Continue. Sorry. I had to tell Tim to shut up.
Kids and women during war. That's a war crime. Those are war crimes, by the way. So, hey, U.S. Army Command, this guy's admitting to war crimes. You should probably investigate that. I have seen my friends and fellow soldiers burn alive. No, he hasn't. My adult life is filled with the things horror movies are made of. No, it's not. I could have nightmares every night, or be medicated, or be a medicated PTSD victim if I didn't choose every day to make a difference for myself and, more importantly, for the men that died to my left and my right.
Ugh.
I don't give a fuck about how they say we're supposed to heal. I'll tell you how to get better. You stop being a put.
Oh, is that how you
hear that?
It? Oh, yeah.
All of you.
Sorry. I'm taking anti-anxiety and antidepressants here. I guess I'm just a pussy with my PTSD. I've been doing it wrong this whole time, Tim. You got it.
Veterans out there, combat veterans, potentially like me, lost friends,
I didn't
close teammates during this conflict. You're just a pussy. You're a pussy if you don't just get over it.
This total inability to stop himself from painting himself as the most badass man in the universe with fictitious bragging put his book in the crosshairs of his very real former captain Travis Warlock, who appeared on the Anti-Hero podcast in the beginning of 2025 in order to defend himself, as he was presented as being Tim's verbal punching bag in his memoir, embarrassing not only Warlock but also the entire U.S. military rank system.
I am insubordinate as and I tell him he is a not doing it. I add a bunch more colorful insults about his height, weight, hair color, and anything else I can think of, and close it all out by basically telling him he's prioritizing officer bull over his men.
That didn't happen, did it?
No, not even close. And in the book, he kind of made me out to be a cherry captain. And later I told him, I was like, hey, dude, I had more time as an SFNCO at that time as I did as an SF officer. I mean, you just can't let, I don't care if you're in a leadership position.
I did say before that there's not a lot of respect between the officers and lower enlisted. But if there's an officer who was enlisted before, that's much more respect that we give. My convoy security team commander, he was a Marine. He got out and then got back in as an officer after he got his degree. But that guy was really cool. Sorry, continue.
Position is an E5.
Yeah.
You can't let that happen, especially in the intensity of that situation.
Yeah,
he would have been left at Anaconda. This is what would have happened.
Absolutely.
The full 2.5-hour duration of this podcast was spent further dissecting all of the lies in Tim's book, which are too numerous to list here, but generally always revolved around him taking multiple lives and being the most alpha male, sigma male, super soldier fighter guy that couldn't be stopped. But the thing that made me laugh the most was the fact that Warlock calling out his lies doubled as a kindness, because some of the things Tim wrote about were so nonsensical and egregious that he actually ran the risk of being charged with a war crime.
Why, sir? I read this book by Tim Kennedy, and apparently they just shoot people laying on the ground with barely a heartbeat as long as they had a gun around them, irregardless of the Geneva Convention.
Sorry, I have to stop you. You said irregardless. That's not a word, sir. Sorry. It's regardless. It's regardless.
Article 12, 14, 15, 16, and Rule 47, which, Tim, you filleted yourself, brother, when you did that. So I'm doing you a favor by telling everybody that did not happen. Right. So the international criminal courts won't come after you. It did not happen.
Tim Kennedy is what happens when you let your deep-rooted childhood fantasies seep into reality and mold your adult personality. There's probably no ill intent behind what he's doing, but be it out of insecurity or some inherent feeling of inadequacy, he wants to be perceived as something that he's clearly not, and in the process of doing so is doing unintentional damage to the reputation of others. So hopefully him being finally forced to come clean about one of his major lies is also the start of him confronting his actual reality and living a happier life void of delusion. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like the video if you liked it, and if you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell next to it. And if you want to support this channel further, become a member by hitting join if you're on Android or desktop, or the link in the description if you're on iOS.
Brent Tucker said on his live last night, he reached out to Tim directly, sent him that video, and asked him if he wanted to give a official response on the record, and Tim's response was, the video won't load.
Oh.
Yeah, buddy. I'm sure you're not aware of what's going on right now.
Dude. Oh, Timothy. Oh, Timothy, you silly boy. Okay, it's just... All right. Yeah, Tim's a silly boy. He got caught up in his own bullshit. If you're a wrestling fan, I'm not really, but he kind of worked himself into a shoot. And, you know, you get a lot of attention for this kind of stuff. And, yeah, a lot of people grift off it. It's kind of gross. I don't really like to grift off of my naval career. It was like, I had a lot of fun, honestly. That's what really, you know, I'm lucky. I only had to do one tour in Iraq, and everywhere else I went, like Greece was a lot of fun. Japan, Okinawa was okay. I would have liked to have been in Yokosuka, but yeah, it's good stuff. Great times. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe down below. Makes me feel good inside. Helps out the channel. If you have any recommendations for any of the videos, please put it in the comments. I'll get to it eventually. So thank you very much, and bye.